Trans Lifeline has a big mission, and we're doing a lot. We're trying to keep our hotline running. I didn't even talk about our microgrants program. We also have advocacy that's doing like the research and the spreading the word. And then
welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Olan Raptor, and we got one hell of a guest here today, and they are...
Hi, I'm Steph.
Hello, thank you very much for coming on to chat with us. It's an absolute pleasure.
It's nice meeting you, Steph, for the first time.
Yeah, glad to be here. I'm excited for what's coming my way.
Ooh. Well, I guess we'll start with the meat and potatoes of the conversation. What are you known for? How'd you get started? What got you into VRChat?
Oh goodness! Whoa! There's a lot of potatoes.
That's a bad habit of his. It's not one question; it's about 6 in a line. You're going. If you jump one fence, you're gonna have the rest of them on the other end to figure out how.
Oh goodness! Yeah. Then could you please be a little more specific?
Oh, of course.
We'd be here all day.
Well, I guess we'll start with what got you into VRChat and what are you known for?
I'm known for a lot of things. I used to be a full-time streamer, Twitch partner, Twitch personality. Nowadays, in like niche and VR, I'm known for my dancing and my live visual performances at several different like rave venues. And I'm also here representing Trans Lifeline as their gaming and streaming partnerships coordinator. So I do a lot of digital community management for the charity known as Trans Lifeline.
Wow. And how did you get into VRChat and what got you started with all that? That sounds like you're wearing quite a lot of hats.
Lots of hats. Well, so I had a quite large streaming community, and so some people recommended me into VRChat like a long time ago. Then streaming, some bad things happened with streaming. Unfortunately, I was the target of a lot of hate, harassment, and stuff like that. So I kind of took a break from streaming because it started being really unhealthy. Trying to have everyone feel safe, despite those forces that were affecting me and my community. So I kind of started over in VRChat, and VRChat, in a lot of ways saved my life. Like the rave scene, Shelter especially. I went to some of the first Shelter events, and it was like, wow, it finally clicked that like I could be happy again, thanks to VRChat. So I've been just living here, got a big padded room. I live in the middle of nowhere in real life, and I fly around the metaverse for years and years now.
Wow. And how did you get involved with Trans Lifeline Mask?
Yeah, so as like a streamer, I was one of the things I did was do charity streamathons for Trans Lifeline. So I'd like organize a bunch of streamers together. Trans Lifeline was trying to get involved in the streamer community. I helped take them to their first TwitchCon. Oh my gosh, like 10 years ago or something. Not that far. Well, like I guess 7 or 8 to be more exact. And I inspired them to kind of integrate with the streaming community more and more, and I would be doing these regular events. And then Trans Lifeline 3 years ago was on the verge of financial insolvency. Like if Trans Lifeline was about to not exist anymore, and I had been not streaming and not helping them. And it's not like I was holding up Trans Lifeline, but I was one of the pieces that had kind of been left behind at a time that was like supporting Trans Lifeline. So they found me, they tracked me down and were like, Seth, please like work for us. And they offered me a job, and I've been building out their streaming and gaming partnerships since, including the partnership with VRChat itself. We're so thankful that last year for Pride, VRChat raised $50,000 for Trans Lifeline as their official charity partner. And fingers crossed this Pride coming up, Trans Lifeline may be supported again.
Wow. And you had
Wow.
a question, Raptor?
Yeah, well, it was something being a smartass. She said padded cell, and I just want to know if it came with a white coat and a white van and two big burly bastards saying, "Where's the door?" I was just going to be a smartass.
God, I wish. What's a girl got to do to get some proper dream fulfillment? You know?
I'm just saying, hey, you know, hey, you might get lucky if you be good, you might get the color TV that they hang up in the corner that you can't touch.
What about the colored TV you strap to your face? Like,
that works. That works too. That works. Ain't gonna argue with that one. No problem there.
So, Mask, how much involvement in the gaming and streaming community has Trans Lifeline been since you've agreed to help them? How much has changed since you stepped in and agreed to help out and work for them?
A lot. So we've got like the VRChat connection. We attended our first Magic the Gathering Con. We were the charity beneficiary for Magic the Gathering Con in Las Vegas just like a month ago. We do 2 streamathons a year. So for Trans Week of Visibility, we do a 7-day long trans streamer only marathon because it's, Trans Week of Visibility. So we're featuring how many different diverse trans creators we have on Twitch. So that's like 60 or 70 creators streaming in relay for a week. So they each get like an hour or 2, and we fill a whole week, and it's like there's no excuse. You want to see trans people being visible. It's happening nonstop, like all week. And I love that. It's like a great way for people to build community. And if you're a trans streamer, you can send me an email at steph@translifeline.org. Sorry, steph@translifeline.org. I'd love to check out your content, or maybe I also do streaming mentorship. Sorry, that turned into more of a plug, but
it's all good.
Yeah, happy to help you. If you're trans in the streaming community, you don't just have to raise money for Trans Lifeline. I actually want to help you thrive, and that's a big part of my job, and something that being full-time at Trans Lifeline has allowed me to do. Is like, hey, how can I actually tangibly help its community? And like, I have a bunch of streaming experience. I'm a wizard at OBS, and I can just integrate into this community and help them thrive. That's what Trans Lifeline's all about at its core, right? So I guess you may not know that, but yeah.
I had no idea personally. That's actually pretty cool that you guys do more than just the charity. That's actually pretty awesome that you reach out like that.
Yeah, so the charity is primarily a crisis hotline for trans folks by trans folks. So whenever someone calls the hotline, they get connected to another trans person on the other end of the line. And like, you don't have to be trans to call, but that was the original vision behind the hotline. And in fact, we encourage anyone in the allies and people that are questioning, or just any queer person, or really honestly anyone, to call our hotline if they need help, because we are the only safe hotline of our scale in the nation. So something that we really want to proliferate and spread the word about is that any of these other numbers that are affiliated with the 988, which is the federal crisis hotline number, they are federally mandated to be mandatory reporters, which means if you say the wrong thing, if you are deemed a threat to yourself, they have to figure out where you are and send police or paramedics to your door, which for a lot of people can be life ruining. I mean, we want to believe that our medical system can be a fair and just and safe thing where it's not a problem. It's a good thing if a paramedic is showing up to make sure you're okay, but I had a health scare with my wife actually, late last year. Paramedics showed up and they did some diagnostics. She was, blood pressure, just make sure she's okay. And she was, thank goodness. But they sent me a $600 bill that I didn't consent to. And I can't believe we didn't go to the hospital or nothing. They just showed up took her blood pressure and charged me $600. And that's life ruining. That amount of money is life ruining for a lot of people. So when you call 988 or any of its affiliates, any of these hotlines that are taking government money, you may end up in a situation where you're dealing with that kind of non-consensual intervention. And Trans Lifeline is grassroots funded. We don't take government money. We wish we could, but we can't. We're reliant on fundraising like VRChat, like streamers, like all these little things, all these little places where people are literally from the community and around the community funding us so we can sustain our work. It's really a remarkable thing, but it allows us to play by different rules, like our own rules, which means we can actually keep people safe.
So I have a bit of a silly question, mostly because I don't know. For some of the stuff you offer and do between yourselves, and what differs you from like 988, because I don't know what both offer in terms of like what is the difference between government funded and things offered and non-government funded and things offered. I'm just not knowing.
Yeah, so there's a national suicide hotline. That's the 988 number. If you call 988, you will get connected to, you'll get patched into several different government affiliated programs that I won't name, but they are all mandated reporters. So like, yes, you can get a crisis hotline worker. They can help talk you through, and it is very useful for a lot of people. It's just there is this threat that like if you say the wrong thing, they could trigger an escalation without your consent, which is just scary and something that not enough people know. So if you're interested in learning more, if you Google the problem with 988 report, you can find the Trans Lifeline's research report study on this that has detailed numbers and statistics about the potential harms of 988. We're also publishing a zine in order to get the word out. So we're like publishing that and proliferating that to local queer community centers so people can know the dangers, because it is a real threat to our community. Because it has these big billboards that are like, you're safe, it's safe and confidential. It's not safe and it's not confidential. But we all know that this administration can just lie, apparently. So is what it is.
Okay. So I have another question. What started the Trans Lifeline mask?
Yes, Trans Lifeline is going on 11 years old. It was just started by a need to try to connect trans people to peer support. It was started in like a different time, 11 years ago was recent and not, there wasn't VRChat 11 years ago, and there wasn't like Twitch wasn't what it was 11 years ago. So, or was Twitch even around? Was it like Justin TV? I don't know. The world goes so fast. But the point is, the major barrier. Let me catch my breath for a bit. I've been talking so much. The Trans Lifeline is created to try to give trans people hope, to try to keep trans people from succumbing to despair, and from self-harming and from giving up. And one of the hardest things, one of the biggest causes of despair is isolation. So when you're, especially in like rural situations, you may not know of any other trans people. And so if you're trans, if you're struggling with your transgender identity or and what that means, and having people that understand you like just doesn't exist in your local community, at least you could call our hotline and you could talk to someone who would actually get it. And that's the strength of peer support. It's the reason why Trans Academy exists and why it's so important, right? It's like when we feel isolated, we feel unable to thrive and unable to be ourselves, and we don't even really have models for what it means to be ourselves, like that's a big cause of despair and an inability to look towards the future. But if we're connected to role models and support and people who get us, then we can imagine a world where we can thrive. And sometimes, a lot of the time, that's all people need, is just to imagine a world where they can be happy, so they can push towards that just a little bit more.
Oh, wow. So things have changed that much in the last 11 years between like how charities can interact with people from like pre-Twitch and internet to modern. Are things really that different between then and now? Like reach outs?
Yeah, well, the hotline is still very important, and we get a lot of callers. And we continually have to increase our staff to meet the need and the demands of our community. Especially right now, we have a lot of callers because trans people are feeling a lot of the despair, and we're trying to be a source of hope for them, which is a huge burden for our hotline operators to be wearing. But when you're talking about like peer support, peer support has spread. There's so many different sources of it now. So it's not like as a charity we are creating peer support spaces in VRChat or on Twitch. We support these spaces. We're a huge supporter of Trans Academy, and we support so many of our Twitch streamers because they're also doing the work, right? They're making these communities where trans people can come together and feel safe and talk to one another and build these communities and imagine a better world for themselves.
So in the VR space specific, what was when you pulled Trans Lifeline into VRChat? What was the response to this community? Because I know you guys have done stuff with VRChat, as you said. There was did you guys do anything with the VR charity event? Or yeah, with yeah. What was
We
the
were
response?
the beneficiary for that. Yeah. The response has been really good. Trans Lifeline has a good reputation, and people appreciate the work that we do. Yeah.
No, well, let me be a bit more specific on my question. The people who worked for the charity who probably never been in VR before, when they've kind of experienced this part of the internet, how do they respond to this part of the internet? Sorry, that is what I meant.
That's so funny. That's so funny and a great question. Sorry. Zoomed away from the camera. Our executive director was so surprised. Like, what is going on? Like, I was the only one at Trans Lifeline, I think, that has ever been in VRChat. So a lot of them still haven't. I just work in fundraising here and show off. I like show them pictures and videos, and I'm like, hey, everybody, like, you should know there's some really cool stuff happening over here. But no, most of the people that work at Trans Lifeline are, deeply involved in their local communities, doing mutual aid networks and going outside and writing poetry and like it's a very, very leftist org. Not to say that is mutually exclusive from tech, but you can imagine how like there's a little bit of a separation sometimes. So it was very cute, very beautiful. I almost tried really hard to get our executive director to rent a PC and get an avatar, and it didn't quite come through. But maybe this June we can make it happen. I'm so enthusiastic about VRChat, and we've gotten a bunch of the streamers actually have started being in VRChat more and more from seeing Trans Lifeline be here, and Kaleidosky especially, is run by Rue, has captured a lot of the streaming talent, because a lot of these streamers are like trying to build community through Twitch, and it's like for some of them VRChat is just better for what they want out of Twitch streaming. Like they don't even stream anymore. They just go look for community here in VR.
Okay.
I got a question for Steph.
Ask away.
Steph, I usually ask this for most people and everything else. Being in VR and stuff like this, if you have somebody that comes up to you and asks, "Hey, I've got this situation and stuff like this," how do you go about getting them into that setup where their mind, sound, and all that situation if they came up and asked you. You see what I'm getting at? Does that make sense? Do I sound like a complete bonehead?
If they will go up to Steph for help, is that what you mean?
Yeah. If somebody
Yeah.
came up to you and asked for assistance and help and stuff like this, besides just sending them to the hotline setup, how do you go about doing it? Because everybody has their own methods of doing things. I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, it's really personal, like personal to the person, to the situation. We ultimately, it is a big thing whenever it's honestly a privilege whenever someone asks you for help, because I think a lot of people are stuck in cycles and they don't actually want to be helped. Like people that are, alcoholic in VRChat, you can try to help them be sober, try to fix people all you want, but if they don't want to be fixed, you're gonna hit a brick wall and just frustrate yourself. And so, but it's the same. I guess to be specific for anyone who's looking for help, it's the same. Just try to listen and do your best. I think we all have the propensity to help people that are in our lives that are struggling, just by lending an ear and lending some effort and really just focusing on their autonomy. Like, what do you think you need? And then it's up to me to, decide if that's something I can give or try to give. And we go from there. So and that's the same way that the hotline operates too. It's kind of like you let the caller drive the conversation. You let them, they know what they need better than you do. You're just there to help guide and fill in some gaps, or maybe show them a perspective they're missing. But they are the ones that are fundamentally guiding their healing journey, and you're just there to facilitate it.
Okay. Well, sounds great because, you get a lot of people, no matter what the situation is, everybody's lost. I don't care
Yeah.
who you are in this world, knowing as old as I am and everything else, everybody has issues. It don't matter what the situation is. You just need that. I put it this way. It's the best way to put it and everything else. Most people just want to know that everything is okay. That's it. That's it. The biggest word, a simple, single okay, and telling them things will work. You just give it time and it's okay. And that's the biggest support most people. I take that. Everybody goes, "Oh, I need a hug and everything else." No, you don't need sometimes you need a hug. Sometimes you just, when you talk to somebody, you just tell them things will be okay. I'm here and it's okay. And that's the biggest drive a lot of people, no matter what your age is or whatever the situation might be, it's okay. And I see where you're going, understand and stuff like this. It's just times have changed and stuff like this, and things move forward, and we all need to move forward.
I have a bit of a silly question for you. You said earlier that you raised money for the charity prior, and then you eventually found your way helping. What were you anticipating going into the position versus what you experienced after stepping into the role?
Oh gosh, I had this reverence for Trans Lifeline, and I still think very highly of the organization. But going in, I was like, oh gosh, they want me to I essentially have control of the Trans Lifeline blue sky, for instance, and it's a lot of pressure. And I'm not there like tweeting, I'm not really posting, but I could. I'm Trans Lifeline on Discord. That's like a lot of pressure. It's like when speaking against Trans Lifeline, I feel like that as an organization that carries a lot of weight. Like we have a large responsibility to carry that microphone with like a sense of reverence, and I didn't think I could do that. But kind of getting into Trans Lifeline, it was kind of seemed like the ball had been kind of dropped, and the microphone wasn't being used, and it's just it kind of became a like, wait, give me that. Like first it was a crisis of faith, like, hey, we can't, I expected better, I expected more communication, I expected us to be more vocal, and I didn't think I could handle it, but I've been handling it fine, so rising to the occasion. If the crown fits, you got to wear it. That's there's no good in privilege if you're not, like, the best thing you can do with any privilege is like utilize it to the fullest, not shrink yourself or anything. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, you've answered the question perfectly. You between the Blue Sky and Discord, you must have so many DMs and notifications on a regular basis. How do you even sift through all of them? It must be nigh impossible.
Yeah, it's a lot. Thankfully, my team is really good. We have our like fundraising and communications team is 4 people. So that's it. For an organization that's like a $4.5-5 million organization a year, which is, I mean, it's huge and it's not huge at the same time, but we're really trying to keep any of our operational staff as lean as possible so we can focus on the hotline. So when people donate, they're, donating to the hotline more than anything. But it takes a lot to run a nonprofit. Anyway, that's a tangent. But our communications director does a great job filtering through stuff. We don't answer all the DMs on Blue Sky. We're not obligated to do that. Discord is sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's not. But we're Trans Lifeline. A lot of people that work here, we're focused. We like. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I've done a lot of reading, and we're all encouraged to do reading on a concept called like trauma stewardship. It's like a teachings of essentially when you are dealing with people and trauma, how do you keep yourself okay when you're like ingesting a bunch of secondhand trauma? And so that's a focus on like essentially just making sure you're okay first, because if you're spiraling, how are you going to help anyone else well? And that's obvious, but like it's core, it's important. Don't burn out. If you're going to burn out, step away. Like that's more important than pushing yourself over that edge.
A metaphor I use for that quite a lot is making sure your own cup is full before you start pouring into someone else's, because you can't you can't fill someone else's cup if yours is empty.
Summer is here, the vibes are high, it's getting hot outside, and honey, things are about to get even hotter in VR. Get ready for Pride Week VR, a week-long celebration bringing together more than 30 communities from across VRChat for one unforgettable festival experience. We're talking live music, high-energy DJs, packed dance floors, and unforgettable experiences. Whether you're dancing until sunrise, discovering your new favorite artist, hanging out with friends, or making brand new ones, there's something waiting for everyone at Pride Week VR. And the best part? While we're celebrating, we're also making a difference. Throughout the week, we'll be raising money for the Trevor Project, helping support LGBTQ+ youth through crisis intervention and suicide prevention services. So grab your friends, charge your headset, put together your fiercest fit, and prepare for a week full of music, community, and pride. Because this summer, we're not just throwing a party, we're bringing VRChat together. Pride Week VR, one community, one celebration, and one incredible cause. We'll see you on the dance floor. To keep up with Pride Week VR, make sure you join VRelium through VRChat, Relium.8220, and also join the Discord to keep up with all the announcements for what's happening. Pride Week VR, happening June 12th through June 21st, 2026.
Yeah.
A question I have as well, at least from the charity side of things, when you're looking to support something that people want to raise a charity for, like for example, the VR charity event that happened last year, or the Pride event VRChat ran, what are you guys looking for before you kind of, when you're looking to select something or willingly work with someone?
Yeah, well, VR charity event is not run by me. That's like Mr. Kuss and Madame Kana are my main contacts with that group. I don't know how they select their streamers. You know, for my streamathons, they are vetted. I am looking for people that I know, and I'm manually inviting them and manually giving them time slots. But anyone can support Trans Lifeline anytime. We are not going to say no to your money. You know, the VRChat event is like awesome. Anyone that was last year, anyone who gave a sorry, I get distracted. I go on do not disturb. Anyone that gives and like anyone who gave a, what was it last year? It was like VRChat Plus. Any gifted VRChat Plus, like a percentage of the proceeds went to Trans Lifeline. That was amazing. For our Pride campaign on Tiltify this year, anyone can go to Tiltify, search up Trans Lifeline, and load up our Pride page and start a campaign to raise money for us. So, yeah, we also have a better answer for your question. Relates to another piece of work that I do, which is peer-to-peer.live. That's a web page. It's PEER, the number 2 PEER.live. And that's a streamer directory that I created when I first started working with Trans Lifeline, like seven or so years ago. And it is a streamer directory that's opt-in, so we're not doing any scraping or anything, but it allows people to tag themselves with identity-based tagging. So like whether they're trans or all manner of sexuality or religion or ability, mental health tags, and that's not just for the trans community, that's for anyone to use that directory so they can find people like them that understand their struggles streaming on Twitch at any time. And so for that, we do vet everyone, but the bar is super low. It's just like, do you say that you are trying to curate a safe community online? Like, are you trying? Are you saying that you're trying? Is the bar, which is a low bar, but it filters a lot of stuff, because you know, the worst actors aren't gonna pretend that they're gonna be that they're trying. They're just wanting to believe in some kind of internet anarchy. Yeah.
Ooh. Well, thank you very much for answering that. I know that must have been a bit of a tough question, but I appreciate it. What have been some of your favorite memories or things you've done while working with Trans Lifeline?
The cons are really cool. Going to TwitchCon, going to MagicCon, working the booth, meeting people that have been touched by our work. Doing this is cool. Being able to give an interview on behalf of Trans Lifeline as my virtual avatar is pretty sick. I could so, yeah.
Well, we appreciate you willing to take the time to come chat with us. As Raptor and I've always said since we started this thing, our goal is to document as much of social VR as we can, although VRChat's doing a really good job adding a lot of people, so our job is getting a lot harder as things go.
There's so many, you know
it.
Sometimes you meet the right person in VRChat and they like open a door for you and you just like look in and there's like a whole universe that you've never seen before. You enter an instance full of white names and you're like, where in the world am I? It's a beautiful thing. So I'm sure you've had that feeling many times, and I hope your work has been really rewarding as well, because it sounds amazing.
Honestly, I'm just glad I get to, or we're glad we get to meet cool people like you, and seeing why things tick. I remember when we first started this whole project, we thought a year and we'd be done. We'd talk with everybody, but boy, was that a wrong statement. But now, like, Raptor and I just enjoyed world hopping, and being able to see and understand the history and the people who call this place home has been rewarding of itself. Be able to point a picture and go, this is what happened here in this picture, has been honestly an honor to us. And now we get to understand some of the things behind events that Trans Lifeline has been a part of, which means quite a lot. It fills out more of the picture of what calls this place home. I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of other platforms or online communities, like, for example, the old Halo servers that probably didn't have the same treatment, that now are just empty data. Now there's less empty data. There's a place to go to, like, hey, I was a part of this. I remember this person.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I think about that kind of often. Like old Halo servers, you know? Like where are the people that I played Warcraft 3 custom games with as a teenager, you know? Like that was a community, but it was never documented. So, and it's lost to time. But if you can capture little images, they can be anchors for memories, and they can keep these ephemeral things kind of living forever, in a way. So what a beautiful thing, and what a burden for you to wear too. I mean, now you can't stop. Oh my gosh, don't you?
I don't think it's a burden at all.
Stop.
Raptor and I don't either.
Stop, Lion.
Raptor and I don't think it's a burden at all. It's been nothing but a pleasure being able to see people, hear their stories. It's been great. Like, whether we don't care what side of the aisle you sit on, what your religion is, we just want to hear your history and your stories. That's all we want. Why do you are here? What got you doing your thing? What are your favorite memories? And be able to put all the pins of the map, like, and act like the guy from the Alien History Channel thing, like aliens, but like events in VR.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the idea that, like, with Lion gets to know you a little bit more than I do. See, I've never met you or anything like this, and when I come in just like if it's somebody that comes into VR for the very first time and walks up to you and starts talking to you, getting to know your personality. But there's a lot of people that we've interviewed or talked to in VR that go, no, I don't, or you got people that are quiet because they don't know how to react. So what this does is gives them, those people that are starting to walk in for the very first time, to open that door, like you said, open up and peek and go, whoa, but where do I go? What do I do? Who do I talk to? What do I want to get into? There's so many doors to open. When you open one, you end up opening dozens, and it doesn't stop. So what do? You stand back, and those people that are walking here going, it might overwhelm them or choke them to death, and they put it down and go, no. But they never gave it a chance. So what do? We interview people and talk to them, find out not make them tick, but their interests, because everybody's got something different. And no matter what, that's what makes VR VR. That's what made me come in and stuff like this, like Line, and we get to meet those people. And more, the merrier. And like I said, I tell Line, we're never going to top that, no matter what the difference, because every time somebody walks through, like you or anybody, we get that new door open every time we turn around, and it makes it worthwhile for us. And you don't realize how much work me and Line had to find that click. To find it, because everybody's doing it. You know, well, what are we going to do? And the way we went about doing it, you would thought, no. And we did it. And it was weird. So it's the same when you meet people and stuff like in here. And it's great. So we have way too much fun.
I have a silly question, mostly because I'm kind of curious, since you mentioned earlier. I know this is going to be a huge whiplash from one topic to the other, but I kind of my brain's kind of focusing on a thing I want to ask. You said earlier that the executives of people who run Trans Lifeline do things one way, and what you're doing is another. Are the two different sides between, like, the VR activities and then the real life activism? is there any intersections between the two? How different are the two different ways of running a charity in terms of reach outs and community interaction and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, Trans Lifeline has a big mission, and we're doing a lot. We're trying to keep our hotline running. I didn't even talk about our microgrants program. We also have advocacy that's doing like the research and the spreading the word, and then everybody at Trans Lifeline is also living their individual lives. And most people get into this work because they're already involved in their local communities, trying to do whatever they can to support their local communities. So it just happens to be that like my local community is VRChat. It is online. It is Twitch. So that's where I focus my work. So yeah, it's like not like it's natural extension. It just does feel kind of separate because of a lot of the executive, actually just everyone else at VRChat. Oh, sorry, wow, everyone else at Trans Lifeline isn't in VRChat. Like, it's wild that we live in this infinite universe of VRChat where we're so much like Raptor is saying, like all this capacity for meeting new people and empathy and connection and love and like community. Just like there's so much love here that you can just, all you have to do is like reach out and you can grab it. It's amazing. I could rant about how beautiful VRChat's all is forever, but like there's people, most people have no idea, right? Like they're living their lives not knowing that there's this infinity happening in VRChat like just all the time. So that's the disconnect, right? It's like they, in a way, they just don't get it. But I still feel supported, and VRChat supports us, and I'm trying to make sure that Trans Lifeline is involved in this future. That we are. So it's not like Trans Lifeline is trying to create a space in VRChat. There are spaces like Trans Academy. So how as Trans Lifeline do we empower Trans Academy as much as possible? Like that's my dream, because the hotline is great and super impactful, but like trans people are connecting in different ways now, and a big one is VRChat. So how does Trans Lifeline improve VRChat for trans people? That's my space to dream and my space to try to take on as best I can.
I got a question for her now. Since you've been in VR, does it help you in the real world? Just VR itself. Does it help you in the real world?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I transitioned way before getting into VR. I like transitioned like 8 years ago. So being trans is normal to me, and like I know a lot of people have figured out that they're trans in VRChat, and it makes perfect sense that that's happened. But just the confidence alone of being in VR, wow. I went to like a club in person. I went to like a really cool like queer club in Seattle, and I just made friends with so many strangers. There's somebody that's like, how do you do it? They were like, what drugs are you on that allow you to just like talk to make friends like this? Like they were just baffled by my confidence. And it was euphoric, right? Because it's just like I've been practicing, It's this is so silly, but like I met up with someone that I was close with in VR, and we cuddled in person, and they just like whispered to me. They were like, "It's just like the simulations." I'll never forget that.
Wow. On a similar vein, but slightly different question as well. Have you viewed the platform any differently since stepping into your current roles? VRChat and social VR.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just my worlds have been merging, you know.
Mm.
Because I was streamer Steph, and then I was just kind of like nobody Steph, and then I was dancer and performer Steph, and then now I'm like Trans Lifeline Steph, and so now I'm like streamer dancer. I'm like not hiding from my past as a streamer anymore, and it's just kind of trying to integrate it all into one authentic person that has a lot of different facets to me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer your question. It's just a lot. It's a lot. But that's VR. That's life too.
It's a question I think about myself for my own beings. I like to ask others as well, like whether you're working with charities or working in clubs. Like at least to give a bit insight of the question a bit. Before I started it, after I started interviewing people, I kind of thought VRChat was a game, and I didn't really think it much deeper than that. But since interviewing and talk with people and be able to integrate with different communities and things going on, I now understand like the scope and the size of things. So I don't see it the same at all. Like before it's a game, and now it's more of a platform, a social platform, kind of like a VR version of like Facebook or Blue Sky or MySpace or whatever, but more interactive, I guess is the way to put it. If that explains.
Yeah, I would say like, yeah, the realization that this really is like a place, you know, it's like it's a virtual reality, but it's also like an additional second reality that's like existing simultaneously with our physical reality, and it's kind of like we can just teleport anywhere. It's like what if society existed where like we didn't have to like get in cars or planes to see each other? It's a wild thing.
So has
like get in cars or planes to see.
Oh.
Sorry, I crashed.
Oh, it's all good.
You're
It
fine.
happens to the best of us. You can't be in technological spaces without the funny limitations showing themselves.
True. True.
So has Trans Lifeline done anything independently here in social VR or under your guidance? VRChat or other platforms?
Yeah, we kind of as a thank you for last year's Pride, we created a trans Day of Remembrance World, which I took you to just earlier. So we partnered with a bunch of trans creators to create a like slightly interactive experience that was very nature themed, and hopefully to give hope to the community. We like had like a sculptor make this beautiful trans angel that was like androgynous, and we had there's like an interactive space where you can spray paint a window pane and then throw a brick at it, you know, to get some emotions out. But ultimately TDoR is a day of like somber reflection, and so it's a place for like introspective personal thought, and to kind of stake a little bit of a claim. Like our executive director got really excited about like, you know, when we make virtual spaces, they can kind of become these like time capsules in a way that like to store memories, store knowledge, and it's a powerful thing for like us to create these spaces and kind of assert that they cannot be taken away from us. Like what, you know, no governments can turn on their own people, and we can get kicked out of our physical homes, but like, can we really, is that possible online? You know, the TDoR world can live forever. Like even if VRChat goes down, we still have the files and we can host it somewhere else. We've like really thought about like, you know, maybe alternatives to really staking a claim in this virtual space and proliferating that, whether it be through like peer-to-peer like torrents, you know, like something. It's kind of a dream of mine, and something I need to really talk to the right people to make happen. Maybe the the right person is listening right now. But I'd really like to get with Trans Lifeline's help, kind of create a package of trans knowledge and wisdom and file share it like we used in the old days. We used to, pirate music and stuff. Well, nobody actually. I would never do something like that. But but we could like share this wisdom peer to peer. We could host it on individual computers, and it could be something that could actually live forever. And that'd be a really beautiful thing. So.
Ooh, well, thank you very much for answering it for answering the question. And the TDoR world was a very beautiful world, I'll say. But I very much enjoyed it. I'm a personal enjoyer of nature worlds myself. Although sometimes with some of the skill people have, my computer cries, but I still enjoy every moment of it. So the world there's. Ooh.
Oh.
I lagged myself there.
Even
the exact moment I said that, it happened.
Even thinking about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
My computer retained the memory and went, no, please no.
Yeah, you'll be fine on on desktop. We will try to optimize it this year for sure.
The world was very beautiful, I will say. Thank you for taking us there. I thought it was a very well built world.
Thank you. It's got a lot of poetry, lots of space for somber reflection. You said it'll be in the description of this video. Well, now it better be. So
it will be.
Yeah.
We try to put as much
Thank you.
links as we can for the people we talk to, whether it be comedian or charity, world builders, streamers. We try to put everything below for people. So if someone watches it, goes, I want to go see this person, or I want to go see the world. Like even the world we're in now will be in the description. We try to bridge the gap between people as best we can, because you just go to the description of the video or the Spotify thing, copy the link and put it in your browser, and off you go.
Awesome.
Indeed. Now, a funny question I like asking people as well, since putting on the funny plastic potato on your face, did you expect the journey you've been on here in VR?
No. I didn't even think I could be happy again, let alone live such a life full of love and abundance because of VR. So I don't know. The problem is I couldn't imagine what my life could become from VR. So once I could, everything changed.
Would you mind if we ask the last couple of questions before we start wrapping things up, if that's okay?
Yeah, whatever.
Last question is the name, use of VRChat. Where'd it come from? Why to use it?
Ooh.
Okay. I never got
Can
that
I pass
resolved
on this
before.
one?
Of course.
Yeah, if you want, of course.
Yeah.
Nobody's twisting your arm.
It's not
Just
a question you have to answer.
Just the way you answer, I'm going, huh? Okay, I'm going
to explain why we ask. You don't have to answer, but explain why we ask that question. The last two is the name and avatar. We like asking everyone we interact with, because one of our goals to like understand this through the document is understand why people represent themselves in VR spaces, why they do.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my name here is a reference to Avatar The Last Airbender. Specifically, I chose the scene where Avatar talks to the lion turtle to find a non-violent means to his solution. And that's kind of why I chose my name as an example. No, right now when people see the name and see me, regardless of wherever they find it, I'll know. I get to hear it, whether it be Raptors or yours or whoever else's. It's just a little bit more history, I guess is the way to put it. You don't have to answer it, by the way, but that's why we ask.
Of course not. Yeah. Thank you. It's a reference to my streamer name, so it's one of those things. Like, it's just enough that if you know, you know, but I don't want to actually tell you.
That's fair. And the avatar you're in, why did you choose it? Why to use it? Is there anything about it that means anything to you?
Oh, gosh, everything. My avatar is hand painted and something I've iterated with over time. I started as a Nanachi, and I've just been kind of updating my avatar over time. I think the avatars can be just like this like manifestation of our consciousness. You know, like everything we see in VRChat came from a mind. Like a brain made this couch, made this texture, made this world. And like I want my avatar to embody that like essence of creation and individuality. So yeah, I just love to doodle and draw. So I've drawn full body like tattoo things for my avatars. Like yeah, just for every iteration.
Well, thank you very much, Steph, for coming on, allowing us to hear about you, your journey, and Trans Lifeline. It's been an absolute honor to be able to speak with and meet you. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, very much so. I appreciate you being here. And I learned a lot, too. Like
Oh,
usual. Always.
glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
And
Well, I'm sure y'all are connected with so many different spots in VRChat. So, you know, if you ever want to draw a virtual cable from me to something else, like, feel free. If I could feel like you've got a Steph shaped space, you know the Steph to fill it. I think that made sense.
Oh, it definitely made sense. And if when whatever the cable needs to be placed, we're more than happy to connect people. It's one of the added joys of being historical documentarians here is there are a lot of people looking for communities or places to go, and be able to attach cables, whatever they may be, is fun to me. Watching someone be like, I want to be a comedian. Well, there's a bunch of spaces you can go. Here are my suggestions, and watch them go off and have their fun wherever it may be.
Yep, you get it. You get it. Thank you.
No problem. And if anyone wishes to reach out and find you or Trans Lifeline, where can they go to find you?
Yeah, you can follow Trans Lifeline on Blue Sky, and on go to translifeline.org to hear more about our work and find our hotline numbers and everything else about us. You can find me on Blue Sky at softlysteph, and you can also, if you're a streamer, you can add, you can send me an email at steph@translifeline.org, and I'd love to just tell me about your content and tell me about who you are, and you can set up a meeting with me, and we can talk about integration and how I can help you help us, or maybe just me help you. You know, that's cool too.
And all the links and stuff for you to find will be in the description below, as I said earlier, from the TDoR world, the World We're in, Trans Academy, and much more will be right down in the description for you to find. So if you don't want to go to a bar, re-listen back to the same like minute, like, what did they say? What letters is there? And just click the link, paste it, your thing, off you go. As easy as that. And with that said,
awesome,
Mr. Raptor, you know the thing.
You got it, folks. No matter what you are in VR or what you're doing in VR, there's always a place for everybody, no matter which way you look, up or down, sideways, left or right. But you're still here and keep coming back. And that's what makes VR. So we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Before we jump back in, a quick shout out. If you like what we're doing at Metaverse Degen, please feel free to check out our Fourth Wall shop, our Patreon, and our socials. There you can find merch, updates, other ways you can support us. You can follow us on all our social media as well, where we'll give updates for all those things, as well as upcoming shows and other fun things. You can find those at beacons.ai/Metaverse Degen, and every bit helps us with our interviews, our live shows, and our actual plays. So thank you very much, and we'd like to give I'd like to give a quick shout out to the people who are supporting us: Aliquim, Knockbee, Frozen, Future Oracle, and Forbidden Zero. Thank you all very much, and right back to the show.
I wonder if you can ride the train and go inside the fucking over there. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. How big that wall is.
It goes in there and goes around. Why? And it goes around.
Oh, it does. Holy shit.
Fuck yeah, it goes fucking around. I don't know where it goes. Like I said, I just got here. I don't know where everything is.
Huh.
I have to check this place out.
Definitely. We're going to have to...
There's another one. There's another one I got to show you that it's
Oh?
called the, yeah, hold on. Another one is called the Cozy Woods. That one's cool.
Oh, okay. We're definitely gonna have to check that out too. There's a bunch we're gonna have to check out.
Yeah, there's some new ones in.